Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Mitchell. Never in my wildest dreams did I think my business degree from NYU would lead me to hiding my success from my own family. 3 years ago, I met John Mitchell at a cozy coffee shop. He was charming, kind, and everything I thought I wanted. Our love story felt like a dream until I met his mother, Victoria. "You could save so much money living here," Victoria had said after our wedding, gesturing grandly around her sprawling mansion. "Why waste money on rent? Families should stick together." John squeezed my hand, his eyes pleading. "Mom's right, honey. We could save for our own place so much faster." The warning signs should have been obvious, but I ignored them. Within weeks, Victoria had taken over our finances. "Let me handle the bills, dear," she cooed with that syrupy smile of hers. "You're both so busy. Just hand over your paychecks, and I'll make sure everything's taken care of." John nodded eagerly. "See? Mom's amazing with money. We're still lucky." But our savings never seemed to grow. Every time I asked about our account balance, Victoria would wave me off. "Oh, you know how expenses are," she'd say breezily, then shift the conversation. "By the way, where were you yesterday afternoon?" It didn't take long to realize she was tracking me. She'd call out of the blue, show up unannounced at places I'd mentioned, and even check my car's mileage. Around that time, my best friend Diana offered me a position at her marketing firm. "Girl, you're wasting your talent," she said over coffee. "I need someone with your skills." I took the job, but I didn't tell Victoria. Instead, I told her I'd joined a book club. For 3 months, I kept the job a secret, quietly building my own savings. John, too preoccupied with earning his mother's approval, didn't notice a thing. "You've always been such a disappointment," I overheard Victoria scold him once. "Thank God you at least married someone with a decent head on her shoulders." Occasionally, John's father, Peter, would visit. He'd hand over checks to fund Victoria's extravagant tastes. "Nothing but the best for my Vicky," he'd say with a grin, blissfully unaware of her manipulations. Then came the LinkedIn post. Diana's company landed a major client, and she tagged me in a celebratory photo. "Congratulations to our brilliant marketing strategist, Erica Mitchell." I was in the kitchen when Victoria stormed in, her face a mask of fury, her tablet clutched in one hand and a leather belt in the other. "You sneaking, lying little snake," she screeched. The first strike landed across my back. "How dare you go behind my back?" Another strike. "After everything I've done for you." I collapsed to the floor, shielding my face as the belt came down again and again. John stood frozen in the doorway, pale and trembling. "Mom, please." "Shut up, John," she snapped. "This ungrateful little wretch needs to learn respect." When it was over, I lay on the cold tile, my body trembling, tears streaming down my face. But in that moment, something shifted. Not fear, not shame. Determination. That night, as I pressed ice packs against my bruises, I made a vow. Victoria Mitchell was about to learn that not everyone could be controlled. Her reign of terror was coming to an end. I started keeping a detailed journal, recording every insult, every manipulation, every questionable financial move. To Victoria, I played the role of the perfect, submissive daughter-in-law. But behind the scenes, I was gathering evidence. "There's something fishy about her tax records," Diana said one day, scrolling through her laptop. "Look at these property transfers." "How did you get those?" I asked. Diana smirked. "Let's just say I know people who know people. And get this, your mother-in-law has been married 3 times. Not once like she claims." That's how we found Rachel Thompson. Meeting her at a quiet cafe felt like peering into a mirror, a glimpse of what my future might hold if I didn't act. "She did the same thing to me," Rachel whispered, her hands trembling around her coffee cup. "First, she made us move in. Then she took control of everything, every penny." When I tried to speak, Rachel slowly pulled back her sleeve, revealing a lattice of faded scars. "Robert, her second son, just stood there," she said, her voice cracking. "Watched, just like your James does." "Did you ever report her?" I asked softly. Rachel gave a bitter laugh. "She convinced everyone I was mentally unstable. Even Robert believed her. The divorce ruined me." Her words lingered as I noticed Victoria's behavior shifting. She started having frequent secretive meetings with a man named Marcus Reynolds. One afternoon, I overheard them in Victoria's study. "The invoices need to look legitimate," she said in a low voice. "Peter can't suspect a thing." Relax, Vicky, Marcus replied. We've been siphonning money from his company for months. He's too love-struck to notice. Heart pounding, I carefully cracked the door open, recording their conversation on my phone. What about your current son? Marcus asked. Any chance he'll inherit soon? Victoria's laugh was cold, cruel. James, that pathetic fool would sign over everything to me anyway. But Peter's been talking to his lawyer about changing the will. We need to move faster. Meanwhile, James was unraveling. One night, I found him sitting on the edge of our bed, staring blankly at the wall. I can never make her happy, Erica, he whispered. Nothing I do is ever enough. Maybe that's because. Don't, he cut me off, his voice sharp. You don't understand. Mom sacrificed everything for me. Did she? I asked gently. Or is that just what she wants you to believe? He didn't respond, just turned away and popped another antidepressant. Victoria had convinced him he needed them years ago. But I was starting to wonder if they were doing more harm than good. Later that week, I caught Victoria tampering with his medication. Just helping him sleep better, she said sweetly, her eyes glittering with malice. A mother knows best. I pocketed one of the pills when she wasn't looking. Whatever game she was playing, it was darker than I'd imagined. And James was too ensnared in her web to see it. That night, I called Diana. I need a good private investigator, someone who can't be bought. Already on it, she said, but Erica, be careful. People like Victoria are dangerous when cornered. I know, I said, staring at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, but I'm more dangerous when I've been pushed too far. Gone was the frightened daughter-in-law. In her place stood someone stronger, someone who wouldn't let Victoria destroy another life. The next day, I met Peter at a quiet diner outside of town. His face turned ashen as I laid out the evidence. These invoices are fake, I said, sliding the documents across the table. Victoria and Marcus have been stealing from your company for years. No, he whispered, his hands trembling as he examined the papers. She wouldn't? She did, I said firmly, and the private investigator found offshore accounts. They're planning to transfer everything within the week. Peter's voice broke. I trusted her. God, I trusted her with everything. Leanna's investigator, Mike, had uncovered more than I expected. They've done this before, he explained, spreading photos across Deanna's kitchen table. 3 other companies, same pattern. Marcus Reynolds is just her latest partner. I anonymously sent the evidence to the Wall Street Journal. Within days, the story broke. Prominent businessman's wife implicated in multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. Victoria's carefully crafted facade began to crumble. One night, I found her shredding documents in her study at 3 a.m. What are you doing up? She snapped, her eyes wild. I could ask you the same thing, I said calmly, worried about something. Her phone rang incessantly with calls from journalists. Marcus had stopped answering her altogether. The walls were closing in. Then came the breaking point. She stormed into our bedroom, her face twisted in rage, waving her phone. You little snake, you did this, she shrieked, lunging at me. Mom, stop. James stepped between us, his voice trembling. Get out of my way, she screamed, slapping him hard across the face. James staggered back, his hand flying to his cheek. For the first time, he saw her for who she truly was. You get me, he whispered, disbelief in his eyes. Oh, grow up, she sneered. You've always been weak, just like your father. Don't talk to him like that, I said, grabbing my pre-packed bag. Where do you think you're going? She demanded. Away from you. For good. James caught my arm. Erica, please. We can fix this. Fix what? I shot back. The abuse? The manipulation? The fact that she's been drugging you. His face went pale. What? Those aren't antidepressants, James. Get them tested. I left him standing there, his world crashing down. Outside, Diana waited in her car. Victoria chased me down the driveway, screaming. You can't leave. I own you. I turned to her, calm and resolute. You never owned me. You just made the mistake of thinking you did. Over the next few days, James called repeatedly. She's changing, Erica, he pleaded. She's getting help. Please come home. That's not my home anymore, I said quietly. And she's not changing. She's just desperate. I watched from a safe distance as Victoria's empire crumbled. Her business partners abandoned her. The country club revoked her membership. and the carefully constructed facade she clung to for decades shattered. One day, she showed up at Diana's house, a tearful mess. "I was just trying to protect my family," she sobbed. "By stealing? By abuse? By drugging your own son?" I shot back. "You don't understand what it's like to have nothing, to fight for everything," she pleaded, her voice breaking. "No, Victoria," I said coldly. "You don't understand what it's like to have everything and still be empty inside." I closed the door on her. Her tears, like everything else about her, were fake. The headline that followed was almost too good. Business partner turns state's evidence in Mitchell fraud case. Marcus Reynolds had folded like a house of cards. "I can prove she orchestrated everything," he told investigators, his hands trembling as he handed over a thick folder. Recordings, documents, emails, bank transfers, everything dating back 5 years. Diana squeezed my hand as we watched Victoria's perp walk on TV. Her designer outfit and perfectly coiffed hair couldn't disguise the desperation in her eyes. The once mighty Victoria Mitchell was finally tasting the bitterness of her own medicine. "Not so mighty anymore," Diana smirked, pouring us both a celebratory glass of wine. Then James called. His voice was clear for the first time in years, free of the fog Victoria's drugs had trapped him in. "The pills, Erica, you were right. The doctor said she'd been giving me sedatives, not antidepressants," he admitted, his voice cracking. "I can't believe she'd do that. To her own son." "Believe it," I said quietly. "It's who she's always been. You just couldn't see it. I filed for divorce from her control. I'm selling the mansion. Erica, can we maybe?" "No, James. That ship sailed a long time ago," I said firmly. "You stood by while she abused me. Some things can't be fixed with an apology. I'll always regret that." "Good, you should." 2 years passed like a cleansing rain. Diana made me a partner at her firm, and we expanded to 3 cities. Life was brighter, freer. During our annual leadership conference, I was presenting when I noticed a familiar figure lurking in the back row. Victoria. Her once flawless designer wardrobe had been replaced by ill-fitted discount clothes. Her makeup couldn't mask the toll of her fall from grace. The predator had become prey to her own schemes. After my speech, she approached the stage, wringing her hands. "Erica, you've done so well," she began, her voice meek. "I always knew you had potential. Maybe we could start fresh." I held up my hand, stopping her mid-sentence. "Stop right there. You're not here to congratulate me. You're here because you've lost everything, your money, your status, your control over James. And now you think you can manipulate me one last time." "I've changed," she insisted. "I've been seeing therapists." "The only help you got," I cut in, "was a reduced sentence for cooperating. You're not sorry for what you did, Victoria. You're just sorry you got caught." James, meanwhile, was rebuilding his life in a small apartment, working an entry-level job. Victoria had controlled his education, his career, everything. Now he was starting from scratch, like all her other victims. As for me, I didn't look back. Some people mistake forgiveness for weakness. They think saying sorry can erase years of pain and manipulation. But I learned something invaluable through all of this. True strength isn't in forgiving toxic people. It's in walking away and never looking back. Diana grinned as I approached her for the board meeting. "Ready?" she asked. "More than ready," I said, smiling. We stepped into the room, the door clicking shut behind us. Victoria stayed exactly where she belonged, in the past, along with all the other nightmares I'd overcome.